What's going on, everyone? This is your Astrology Horoscope for January 3rd, 2024. I'm astrologer Alex Skyles, and welcome to the Moonbase. Hope you guys are having a great start to the new year. We're full-blown in Capricorn season now. Mercury's direct, Jupiter's direct. We got Uranus coming direct on January 26th, I believe. So we're starting to get some traction with the Sun in Capricorn. It's like we're ready to build upon our foundation that we've been building on for a long time, with Mercury and Sag, Mars and Sag. It's like we're seeing the bigger vision. We see and feel the bigger picture. And now as we're moving into, Mercury, Mars, and Capricorn here very soon, it's like we're acting upon what we've been building, especially if we want to go back the past 15 years with Pluto and Capricorn, which we're about to be done with very soon. It's like, if we've been playing the game right, we're going to see big results that are going to last a long time. And we've had to go through a lot of tearing down, destroying, rebuilding, transforming to get to this place. And we're beginning to see results. And when Mercury comes out of shadow, we're really going to start seeing results. And today with the moon in Libra, we're starting to feel more balanced on our emotions and being able to analyze our emotions in a much more logical way, which is, we've been really needing this grounded, more rational energy, because in Sag season, with all the squares to Neptune and Mercury direct square Neptune, it's been hard to find something to hold on to. So now we're starting to feel the ground, and to feel our minds and where we actually are physically, like, come into be more intact. So the moon's going to cross the south node eventually here in the next day or two. And, this is really bringing up what we've been experiencing through this nodal transit, also with Chiron and Aries here. It's like, we have this desire to really transform our identities and become who we truly are underneath all these wounds. And that's really where we stand at this moment. It's like here in the next month, we're going to see the North Node and Chiron conjunct. And this is where, a lot of healing starts to begin, because there's been damage done from an individual level to us as individuals, and in a lot of cases coming from a collective level, and we definitely felt that with Pluto squaring the nodes right as the nodes shifted back in July. So now we're starting to feel this on an individual level, and with the moon in Libra today, it's very much this we have this desire to balance our emotions here. And it's making somewhat of an odd angle to Jupiter, so it is this Venus energy that is rising up. It can be a little awkward and uncomfortable, emotionally today, of like, it's like, hey, like, we're expressing our values. We know what we want. We know what we're manifesting. We know what we want to create. But at the same time, it's like we have to have healthy, sustainable partnerships and relationships. And we have to be able to communicate on a healthy level in order to not only get to know our individual selves better, which this North Node in Aries is karmically calling us to do so, in this Chiron in Aries. It's like we have a lot of healing to do. And this healing process is allowing us to transmute into our more individual selves, which is on a collective level with what we're going into in this timeline and this frequency that we're shifting into with this Uranian Aquarian energy, Pluto and Aquarius. In order to really prepare for that, it's like we really have to tear off the masks. Chiron and Aries is can be somewhat of a mask, and mask after mask, tearing off different masks that we've worn over time to really cover up pain and how we deal with pain. And we deal with pain by putting on masks, and a lot of that is the South Node in Libra. It's like we put on a mask to, whether it's unconsciously or subconsciously, is to appease others, to people please. Libra likes to people please, and today is one of those days where it's like we have to agree upon things, we have to solve issues in a diplomatic way, and not let the emotions get in the way of solving issues, and we don't want to get overly judgmental on ourselves. We don't want to judge ourselves too much, and we don't want to be judging others too much, because that karmically is what is playing out, is this judgment towards ourselves and towards others in our relationship. And when we can keep an even balance of allowing ourselves to accept others and ourselves for who we are, that's when we can find a much more solid ground here. So, as we go through this nodal cycle, and as Pluto's transiting or coming into Aquarius, it's like nothing is going to look the same. We haven't experienced this before. We got a taste of it, but we haven't really been here. And we haven't seen the North Node in Aries since 2005. So this is a big, big, big timeline that is coming into play that we haven't really experienced in a long time. And definitely with Pluto coming into Aquarius, we've never felt this in our lives. And we're going to have it until the end of the summer, going into fall. So we're going to feel it heavily. And by 2025, we're in for good. So, Venus is in Sag. It's like we want to have fun. Like Venus is Sag is one of the most fun energies. It's like we can just be ourselves, be free. We can do some crazy shit and get away with it, right? It's like we could just fall in love with whoever we want. By the time Venus squares Neptune, it's like it may not. You might have had the drunk goggles on, if you're falling in love with just the moment, which can be fun, because when you just accept the moment and allow the moment to carry you to wherever you're going, it could be a lot of fun, but you can get further down the road and be like, damn, what was I thinking? Kind of vibe. And today, Venus is also making this in conjunction or a quincunx to Jupiter. So this is definitely the energy. It's like, hey, we want to have fun. We want to go on a big fucking journey. We want to think big, and we want to, have big ideas about our relationships and our creative projects and make big money. And we are definitely doing that with Jupiter and Taurus. We have a lot of opportunity to manifest a lot of abundance and wealth. And as Jupiter gets closer to Uranus, there's going to be much more opportunity than we've had in a long time. And we saw that in the last Jupiter-Uranus transit in 2010, 2011, around that time. There was a lot of opportunity that just came out of nowhere. But with this Venus making this in conjunction to Taurus, Jupiter and Taurus, it's like, we really have to be careful with our spending. We got to really, understand that we all have different beliefs and values and opinions. And we all have our own journey. Jupiter and Sagittarius is about our journey. And that's different for everybody. We all have our own truth. We all have our own experience. And there's definitely, ultimate truth within the universe and in the cosmos and in this world that we exist in physically. But, it's like we all have our own journeys. And the magic of what Pluto and Aquarius is going to bring, and Uranus and Taurus as well, is that, it's like all of our own individual journeys coming together to unify as one system and one, operating on, one frequency. There's multiple levels to Aquarius. There's the individual frequency, and then there's the collective frequency. And it's like, that's what Pluto and Aquarius is really going to bring up, is this understanding that our individual journey and our individual experience has a relationship with the collective consciousness, a collective unconscious, and that how we go about our own journeys directly influences the collective journey and the collective unconscious, if you want to put it in Jungian terms. So, Mars is in Sag, so it's like we're at 29 degrees. This is the final degree of Mars and Sag, which I love. It's one of my favorite. I love Sag energy. I really do. I'm Moon in Sag, so of course I do. But in Mars in Sag, it's very much like we've been on a long journey. And with Pluto and Capricorn, it's like we've been climbing the mountain. And the mountain's not over, you know? It's like we've gathered so much knowledge over these past few months, really, and to put it in a narrower time frame. But we've gathered so much knowledge over these past few months about the journey that we've been on, you know? And now we're about to take this knowledge that we've expanded on and shared with others, and maybe we've received from others, which is definitely this Moon in Libra today. It's like we're receiving a lot of information from other people. And when the Moon sextiles Mercury and Mars, it's like there is this relationship between sharing knowledge, you know, and being very supportive in each other's journeys and supporting each other's journeys within our very close personal relationships and friendships, you know. So yeah, Mars and Sag, it's like we're kicking ass, you know. It's like we want to kick some ass. We want to keep kicking ass, you know. And when Mars comes in, into its exaltation, it's gonna really light things up and ground the energy in a physical way, you know, and feel like, hey, we have more control on our reality, you know. And we haven't had that in a while. Like Neptune's so strong right now. So it's been a challenge to find something physical to latch onto. And, you know, we've been on a long journey. And Pluto coming into Aquarius on the 20th, it's like, this is a whole new journey taking shape here. And this is very exciting, you know. And also, like, later throughout the day, if we watch the moon, you know, it's going to square the sun here. So definitely there is some challenges to relationships as we come into the evening here. And it's not, you know, the most, there's definitely some friction. It's not the easiest energy to deal with, you know, but we have to find balance in our emotions with, you know, the ground that we stand on, but also, you know, our thoughts and our minds and where we need to be diplomatic in our relationships and come to common grounds and come to agreements, you know, and there can be some heavy judgment, you know, weighing down on these situations here, you know. And as the sun is going to, or the moon is going to square the sun, you know, it's going to be activating a T-square to Chiron. So it's like a lot of wounds can be coming up. And it's like we have to remain who we actually are as individuals within our relationships, but also see the journey and the mountain that we've been climbing in the bigger picture of things, while maintaining our individuality and holding on to relationships, because we are nothing without relationships. The self is nothing without a healthy relationship, whether it's with God or your partner or your friends or your family. Aries is nothing without Libra, you know, and the self in the relationship and, you know, that connection is nothing without a higher journey to go on, you know. And on the Cancer side of things, it's like the sun is going to be opposing Sirius as well. So it's like there's some very dense energy coming in here when it comes to its power. Like, this is about power. It's like having our own power within our relationships and holding on to our own power within ourselves. Like, we need to remember how powerful we truly are. Because with the South Node in Libra and what we've been experiencing, it's like it's so easy to just dip back into that codependent thing and give away our power, you know? And with this sun opposition to Sirius that's coming on here, with this square to the sun from the moon opposing Chiron, it's like we have to remember that we have to be secure in our emotions to maintain our power within ourselves and within our relationships. So this is what's coming up later this evening, you know, as we move into the nighttime. So at least here on the West Coast. So it is, you know, it's like with the sun in Capricorn, like we are really grounding ourselves and maintaining our composure. It's much easier to maintain our composure right now than what it's been. Mercury will square Neptune one more time, so it's like that's going to come up one more time, but then we're on our way. But today's one of those days where it's like, we really have to be diplomatic, and come to agreements, come to a common ground here, and also like hold our value, with this Venus in conjunct to Jupiter. It's like we really have to remember our value and not overshoot, that we don't want to overshoot or over-exaggerate things or get too caught up in the bigger picture. We see and feel the bigger picture, but we still have to be present here and now. And being present is the only way to really focus on the bigger picture. You can see and feel the bigger picture in your mind, but if that's all you're focused on, you're not going to be here right now doing the work and actually serving yourself and your soul and your soul's purpose and serving the collective and or God. So this is one of those days where we're being called to, find a common ground and come to a diplomatic resolution. There's definitely going to be some resolutions today and some challenges that are going to come up and maybe some wounds that we're starting to really heal. And Chiron getting closer to the North Node, it's like this healing is becoming more apparent and it can really start to take shape in a much more visible way. And when we're talking about the North Node here, like this is karmic. Like this isn't something that we could have controlled that should have happened at another time. Like this is the moment that it was meant to happen as we're coming into these next few months with this North Node Chiron conjunction. There's a individual healing and there's a collective healing going on. And this is preparing us for what Pluto and Aquarius is really going to be about because it's something that we've never really seen before. So oops, we've never really seen that before. So this is a whole new timeline, a whole new frequency. And, this healing for our individual selves is what's necessary to prepare us, and that's a battle sometimes. Chiron and Aries is a battle. And, with the sun going to square Chiron here very soon, like it's an uphill battle. It's like if you've ever climbed a mountain, like I've experienced it a couple times and it's really intense. Honestly, climbing a mountain was one of the most transformative psychological experiences I've ever had. Like on a physical level, yeah, but like on an alchemical level, the way the way your mind and your body kind of reflect the mental and physical state, like in the awareness of that, I've never experienced that other than probably a psychedelic experience. But climbing a mountain was very psychedelic. But, this healing journey with the sun coming to square Chiron, it's like, it's an uphill battle, and by the time the North Node and Chiron conjunct, it's like we're going to start really having these karmic experiences towards this individual healing that ultimately can be healthy on a collective level, which is what we need to prepare for this new frequency and timeline coming in. So today's a day, where we want to balance our emotions and hold our value and let the journey carry us, where it wants to go. Because, there's only a certain level to where we do have control. And Capricorn, like it's about control. We want to feel like we have control over our 3D world and our 3D environment, right? But with Mars and Sag, we still got a glimpse of that. So we have to let the journey carry us where it wants to go. And we don't know where it's going to take us. And that's what's the most exciting part about this journey. And by the time Pluto comes into Aquarius and we hit this Jupiter-Uranus, it's like, bam, a whole new experience, a whole new timeline, a whole new frequency is going to come into play here. And we can only feel what that's going to be, with the Sagittarius energy, we can only feel what it's going to look like. But we can't waste time trying to analyze it or, try to put it into words or put it into pictures. We just have to know that that's where we're headed and accept that we are on a journey, and the journey is about being here right now, but taking each step forward, right? So I wish you all the best day, and hope you have a great start to 2024. It's been pretty awesome so far. I mean, Mercury's direct, Jupiter's direct. So, we're starting to move forward. And by the end of the month, all planets are going to be direct. So I hope you're laying it out at this moment, because we have a good 5 to 6 months of just bam, all planets direct. I mean, we'll have a Mercury retrograde in between that time. Mercury retrogrades 3 times a year. So that's the thing. When the outer planets are Mars and Venus retrograde, it's not often, especially with Mars and Venus. Those are, in my opinion, always the most difficult retrogrades. So, but also the most prophetic retrogrades, which is where we can really start to predict things down the line. So, but anyway, like this video, share this video, find me on Instagram, find me on the TikTok if you're on there. I post clips from these horoscopes on the TikTok. Leave a comment below, ask questions. I'll answer the questions in the next video. Feel free to reach out to me, send me an email. If you want a personal reading or consultation, I am available for February. January is pretty booked up right now, but February we're looking pretty good. So I appreciate you all, and thank you very much for being here. Love you guys. Have a wonderful Wednesday. Peace.